May Allah not do me bad. Now, so we'll begin now. Dr. Rahma, you have the mic. You can start now, ma. Hello, Dr. Rahma. I can see you are presenting your screen. Can you, Dr. Rahma? Are you here with us, ma? Oh, Dr. Rahma is okay. She's there. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. I can hear you. Can other people hear her? Hello?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Sorry. I know that I'm the one that okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah Rabbi sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. So today, sorry, I'm in the mosque, so they're praying. I don't know if you can hear me. Please, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can.
Okay, so today we are going to be discussing fasting and your health. So basically, we are going to be talking about how fasting can positively affect your health or negatively affect your health, and things, measures to put in place to prevent the negative impact of fasting. Okay, so I'll be following this outline. We're going to talk about the health benefits, then the general precautions one should take during fasting, then specific precautions for specific conditions, for women who are breastfeeding, for people who are diabetics, for hypertensive patients, patients with kidney disease, for patients with peptic ulcer disease, and then we're going to conclude. Okay, so starting with the health benefits of fasting, Allah has made fasting to be an injunction upon us, and He is one who created us. So of course, He knows us best. He knows our bodies, and He knows what is best for us. Now, fasting helps to develop healthier lifestyles. For example, people who have been having difficulties with stopping smoking or alcohol, or even people who binge eat, like people who eat a lot and frequently. People who eat frequently, people who eat a lot. It helps to reduce the opportunity of doing those things that would negatively affect their health. So it helps us develop healthier lifestyles. It strengthens our digestive system. It helps to relieve mild depression. And this is because people who are depressed, they usually like to be alone. They usually like to just maintain that solitude. But when there is during fasting, people mix, especially during the top period, it's usually like very joyful, especially towards the ending of fasting. And that can really help a lot of people who are undergoing some mental stress. Then it helps with self-restraint and anger management, because you know that you're not supposed to get angry when you're fasting. So because of that, it kind of helps, serves as a stumbling block to that hot temper, and that helps to manage anger. Then it can serve as an opportunity to quit smoking alcohol. Okay, I already mentioned this. It controls cholesterol level in the blood, because of when you're fasting, you're not going to be eating as much as you used to eat, and that can help to break down those fat cells that are within the blood, and that's particularly beneficial to patients who are hypertensive, because for patients who are hypertensive, in fact, we place them on some drugs to help with that blood cholesterol, because cholesterol further worsens the complications of hypertension. So for a person who is fasting, even if the person was having difficulty cutting down on fatty foods and all of that, fasting itself helps to reduce the level of cholesterol within that person's blood system. So it controls the blood pressure. Then it helps with weight control. Now, weight control, people who have been trying to lose weight but they have not been able to, now they don't have a choice but not to eat as much as they used to eat. So it just controls their weight. But unfortunately, some other people gain weight during Ramadan, and that's because instead of them to actually cut down on their weight and not maybe overeat, they tend to eat more at once because they want to make up for the lost time. And that can even adversely affect the person, making the person to gain weight more than outside of Ramadan. I don't know if you get me. Sorry.
We are praying here, we are reading. That is English now, not Arabic. I think it's Arabic, they won't get it.
Sorry,
Can't you read silently?
okay. Sorry, for the general precautions, I'll just talk about like the precautions that is applicable to everybody, whether you have whether you're healthy or not. These are precautions that everybody should take during fasting. Okay, so you should ensure that you drink a lot of water, especially in this period where there is intense heat. There is high tendency to become dehydrated. You may start feeling excessive thirst and all of that. So, and you don't want the complications of dehydration. Severe dehydration can affect the kidneys. You don't want that to happen. So what do? You have to take enough water. You have to take enough water at sahur time, that is the pre-dawn meal, and then at iftar time. And it is advised to take lukewarm water instead of taking cold water, because lukewarm water it's more absorbed by the body. Because I know that most of us would probably think that, oh, I've been fasting since and my throat is dry. I need to take cold water. I need to calm down my body, all these kind of things. So you end up taking cold water instead of taking something that would actually benefit you, and that's the lukewarm water. Then you should increase the intake of water resources, because if you are to take just water, okay, I didn't even mention that you should try to take up to 3 liters of water, either at sahur, like it should be split between sahur and iftar time. And a way to actually maximize the amount of water you take at sahur is when you wake up, before you eat your sahur, you can take water before you even cook and eat your sahur. Then at iftar again, you take enough water as much as you can. Then between iftar and the time you are going to sleep, you can take as much water as you can. That's way you'll be able to maintain between at least 2.5 to 3 liters. If you can go more than that, it's even better. Then you should increase intake of water-rich sources like juice, like fruits, vegetables, and all of that. Then avoid the intake of salt. Like this is the period where you should actually cut down on salt if you didn't cut down on it before. The reason is because salt causes you to lose so much water in your urine. So it causes you to become dehydrated more easily. And before you know it, it's just 11 o'clock. You're already very thirsty. So you have to cut down on your salt intake. Spicy foods, pepper, maggi, those things that are really spicy, they can even cause you to lose more water. Then sweets, so you have to cut down on sweets. I mean, like, the kind of sweet I'm saying, this process, not natural food, and not natural vegetable or fruits sweetness. Talking about the artificial food. Then you have to cut down on caffeine. By caffeine, I mean the real coffee, chocolate, coffee in tea, what should have been? Yeah, coffee in glucose boost. These energy drinks, they are very high in coffee. People tend to take them because they're like, I'm fasting, so I'm very tired, so I want to boost my energy. Whereas they actually take something that would adversely affect them. So you have to cut down on caffeine generally. Even Lipton, that's caffeine. You have to cut down on it. Then nicotine, that is smoking. Alhamdulillah. I don't expect that in also because it causes you to lose more water. Then, if it is possible, you have to spend lesser time outside, especially in this hot temperature where you can easily lose water through your skin, because you are sweating. Water you're losing through your skin is also contributing to the test that you may end up having. Then, if you know you're a patient on any medications, like you have been on medications for a while and you know you're still going to keep taking these medications, please don't just change the timings of these medications. What I mean is, some people who are on thrice daily medications, 4 times daily medications, they just like, I beg, once Ramadan starts, I'll start taking it twice a day, or I'll start taking it once a day, because you know you cannot take it more than twice a day. Please don't just make the decision on your own. Ensure to consult a doctor. The doctor may have an alternative to your drugs, because there are some medications that can act for longer periods, and your doctor can place you on those kind of medications. So instead of taking one or 4 times a day, there may be alternatives to such medications, such that you can take once a day or twice a day. But in some cases, there may be no alternatives, and this drug is very important for your health. And in that kind of scenario, you have to fall under the people who are sick that can be exempted from fasting, because you know that if you don't take this drug, your health is going to deteriorate. Then I'll talk about the general precautions. So please and please do not skip your sahur. Alhamdulillah, the Prophet already said that, already said that there is blessing in sahur. So please take your sahur. The health advantage of taking your sahur is that it reduces the span of your fasting. Or should I even call it reducing? Because that's actually the normal span of your fasting. It is not taking it that increases the span of your fast. So if you don't take your sahur, let's say you're supposed to take it 5 o'clock and you do not take it, then you end up fasting between 5 and 7. And don't forget that. Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Don't forget that maybe the last time you ate was 10 p.m. I'm just using that one as an assumption. Last time you ate was 10 p.m. and now you do not eat sahur. So you don't eat anything till 7 p.m. That means you must have fasted for almost 24 hours. Sorry. You must have fasted for almost 24 hours. So you are just punishing yourself if you should do that kind of thing. So it's better to just take your sahur and to give you enough glucose and enough energy for you to be able to last the day. For the foods, the kind of foods you can take for sahur, I already mentioned that you should take a lot of water. You should take foods that are also rich in water. You can take fruits like watermelon. Then proteins like chicken, fish, meat, complex carbohydrates like beans. They're actually very nice for sahur. Break your fast with dates, water, fruit, juice, and the like. I'm already recommended dates for breaking of fast. The reason is that when you break your fast with dates, it's kind of because you know you have not been eating for hours, so your digestive system is not actually ready to just digest anything that comes in. So if you give it dates, it's going to date quickly goes into the system, so it gives you that immediate energy. That's one. Then it stimulates your digestive system so that it's ready for what is coming next. But if what you just do straight up is, oh, it's time to breakfast, alhamdulillah, just the food, one rice, one bowl of rice, you're just going to end up having indigestion, maybe start having abdominal pains, you may start having bloating, you may even it may cause you to have weight gain instead of having the weight control that we mentioned that happens during Ramadan. So you may end up having a weight gain from it. Okay, so the next step, I said, do not overfeed. Eating so much is actually more disadvantageous to you than it is an advantage. We think that, oh, I didn't eat in the afternoon, I didn't eat in the evening, so now it is time for me to combine everything I should have eaten in the afternoon and evening. So you bulk everything down. In the end, what happens is you may be having abdominal um, discomfort, you may be bloated, all the things that you just don't want for yourself. And in the end, it may even affect your sleep, you may not be able to sleep well, all those things. Then you should plan your iftar meals. This is the time to plan our iftar meals for the light meals. It should not be something that will be too heavy. Drink as much water between iftar and sleeping time. I think I already mentioned that. You should cut down on heavy, fatty foods and fries, because these foods, apart from the fact that they shouldn't even be, even when you are not fasting, like even outside of Ramadan, you should cut down on them. But during Ramadan, it's even worse because it causes you to lose a lot of water. It causes you to lose a lot of water. That causes you to get dehydrated more easily. Then, if you want to involve in exercise during Ramadan, like, because there are some people who it's actually good to be exercising like as a normal thing, as a regular thing. So for you to be able to exercise in Ramadan, you should not do it in the morning. Exercise in Ramadan should not be in the morning because you would have used up all your energy and then you may end up exhausted and hungry for the rest of the day. What you do is you bring it close to iftar. You can do it before or after iftar. Before iftar, when you know it's already close to time to breakfast, just in case hey, you have something to quickly drink and all of that. Then after iftar, if you know you want to exercise after iftar, you would eat something very light to break your fast. Then you wait for some hours so that it digests before you can exercise. That way, it has already digested into your system, and then you can exercise. You should avoid aggressive or high intensity exercise like jumping, like carrying heavy weight. This is not the time to do that. You should do the light exercises. Then fasting in breastfeeding and pregnant women. Okay, now we are going to be specific. We already talked about. So pregnant women, if you are a pregnant woman, you should not just make the decision of fasting without consulting your doctor. Okay, so if you're a pregnant woman, you should not just make the decision of fasting without consulting your doctor. This is because there are some pregnant women with some specific conditions that would not allow them to fast. And apart from that, there are some pregnant women in which maybe their babies are even already small for their age of pregnancy. For those kind of pregnant women, you don't want them to fast because that would severely affect the growth of the child. I don't know if you understand me. No, normally we expect the weight of a child to be like between 2.5, 3.5, but there are some babies that their weight can be very low, maybe like less than 2 or around 2. Those kind of babies are already like small. So imagine a pregnant woman already carrying a baby that is already small, even when she was not fasting. If she should just fast, like make decision by herself that she wants to fast, that would further make the baby to become smaller. So we don't advise that such pregnant women should fast. So you should always consult with your doctor. If your doctor says you can go ahead, then you can go ahead. But even if your doctor says you can go ahead, please, there are some things that you should take note of. You should ensure good hydration. All the things that we listed for the general precaution about your diet and all, you should ensure them. But apart from that, there are some things you should take note of. For example, I mentioned that it can cause a child to be like very small. That is the growth retardation. If you feel very thirsty, if a pregnant woman gets very thirsty, maybe the pregnant woman is dehydrated, it can cause the woman to fall into labor, and that is premature labor. The labor that is not as a result of maturity. Like the child is not like the child is mature enough to be born. Maybe it's just 6 months, 7 months, or even less, and the woman is already has already fallen into labor because she was dehydrated. So dehydration can cause a woman to fall into labor, and if such woman gives birth to that child is going to be a premature baby. Then if a woman has any condition in pregnancy, like any abnormal condition, like the woman is not a normal pregnant woman. What I mean is she has hypertension in pregnancy, she has diabetes in pregnancy. Those kind of women should not fast. Alhamdulillah, Allah has already exempted that such people should not fast. So just fall under that umbrella and pay back later. Then, okay, so I was saying something that there are some precautions, some special precautions you should take note of if you're a pregnant woman and you are fasting. You should check yourself, monitor, are you gaining weight or are you losing weight? If you are gaining weight, because the weight of a pregnant woman is proportionate to how big that child is going to be. If you are losing weight during pregnancy, you cannot expect to get a big baby. So if you are losing weight while you are fasting, it means that your child is also losing weight. If you're having fever or you're having headache, it means that there's probably an infection somewhere. So you have to see your doctor. If you observe that the child is no longer moving as the child used to move, because I mentioned that there can be growth retardation. Now, growth retardation is not just about the smallness of the child, it's not just affecting the size of the child, it also affects the brain of the child. So babies can actually die from that retardation because at the point they can stop functioning. So if you observe that this child used to move like 20 times a day, now the child is moving only 3 times a day, please go to your doctor. Don't waste time. If you notice that you're having cramps or contraction like pains, go to your doctor because it's possible you're having premature contraction. There are ways to terminate, to end premature contraction. If you are feeling dizzy, weak, faint, or you are just feeling unnecessarily like tired, like you are ill, please, it's time to see your doctor. Now, if you are a breastfeeding mother and you are observing exclusive breastfeeding. Exclusive breastfeeding is the one that you're not giving the child any other thing other than breast milk. You're not giving the child water, you're not giving the child nothing, just breast milk. So the child is like solely dependent on you. Please, fasting is not advised. Why? Because you're going to feed this child as much as this child demands. It's called feeding on demand. So you cannot tell the child that me, I'm not even hungry, so I cannot give you. Do you want the child to stop? Because the child is totally dependent on you. You get. So if you know you want to fast, you are breastfeeding, but you are saying that no, I still want to fast, please consult with your doctor. You should be physically and be mentally ready that I really want to do this. And for you, the hydration is like super important. You have to take like enough water because the breast milk is from water. So of course you have to take enough water. You have to rest well, have a good sleep, eat well, eat a balanced diet, and be vigilant of yourself and your baby. If you see that the baby is crying excessively despite breastfeeding, maybe this baby is not breastfeeding enough, or the content is not enough for the child. So you have to be vigilant of those things. So now go to fasting in diabetics. So people who are diabetics, how is fasting in them? If you are a diabetic patient, it is very important. In fact, every diabetic patient knows that food is important. Food for diabetic, eating food can cause them to have um abnormally high level of glucose. Not eating can cause them to have abnormally low level of glucose. The reason why they are called diabetes in the first place is the fact that they have a problem with regulation in their glucose. So is that the glucose is becoming too high or too low at different times of the day or at different times of the week. So what you want to do is you want to be sure that you are actually fit for fasting. It's not all diabetics that are allowed to fast, but some are allowed to fast. So that's why you have to consult with your doctor, because the doctor will have to monitor your glucose level, know how it has been regulated for a particular period of time. If it has been regulated well and it's such that your drugs can be taken twice a day, that is morning, glucose level will be fine. Then your doctor will allow you to fast. And while your doctor is allowing you to fast, please try to be adherent to your medications. Take them the way you're supposed to take them. This is because your blood glucose can become extremely high. It can become extremely low. So if you take your drugs excessively, it can become too low. If you take it too less frequently, it can become too high. So you see, you have to be adherent to your medications. Then you have to monitor your sugar level at like before you take your sahur, so that you're sure that your sugar level is not becoming too high and too low. Then there are some things you should watch out for. In diabetes, there's something we call hypoglycemic symptoms. Hypo means too low. Glycemia means level of glucose in the blood. So hypoglycemic is like the level of glucose in the blood is too low. If at any point you monitor your blood sugar level and you see that it is becoming lesser than 70, that is not the time to fast, because it means that you're already entering the too low. So for hypoglycemic symptoms now, if you find out that you are diabetic and then you start having extreme hunger, when they are experiencing this hypoglycemia, that is too low blood sugar in the blood, okay, too low sugar in the blood, they start having extreme hunger, like it is extreme. It's not the normal hunger, it's extreme. They start feeling dizzy and they start sweating excessively. If you know that this is happening to you, you know you're experiencing hypoglycemic symptoms, please break your fast. Break your fast and quickly take in maybe a bottle of Coke or a spoonful of sugar, like glucose, something to quickly give you glucose. Then you can eat a food that is rich in carbohydrates just to give yourself that glucose level again. The reason is because if you don't do this and your glucose level becomes extremely low, because that's one thing about diabetics, it is not well controlled. So there's no that auto-regulatory system that you have in other people is not working well for them. So the blood glucose level can become so low that it becomes it's the person falls into coma. That is a state of unconsciousness from the hypoglycemia. So it's not something that we take for granted. If you know you're experiencing any of these symptoms at any point that you're fasting, please break your fast. I'm talking about the diabetic patients. So yes, for the diabetic patients. Then for the hyperglycemic symptoms, if you are experiencing extreme thirst, you are beginning to urinate maybe like 12 times in a day. You are vomiting, you're having pain in your abdomen. For some of them, they may even go into coma too. That is state of unconsciousness. If you're experiencing these symptoms, please visit the hospital. Let them run some tests for you, and then you know what the way forward. If you are to stop fasting or you have to continue fasting. Okay, now we're talking about fasting and hypertensive. I already said something earlier. I said that for people who are hypertensive, fasting can be beneficial because it helps them to burn their their cholesterol, and because of that, it controls it's how do I say it? It prevents worsening of the condition, because hypertension is a silent killer. Like a person may be hypertensive and the person doesn't have any serious symptoms per se. So the person thinks the person is fine and is not even taking the drugs, whereas all the organs are being destroyed one after the other. That's what hypertension does. So you don't want the complications that come with hypertension. But alhamdulillah, fasting even helps to control hypertension. It has to control your blood pressure. So if you're hypertensive, please consult with your doctor. I'm not saying that all hypertensive should fast. If you're hypertensive, you should still consult with your doctor if you should fast. Reason being that some hypertensions are not well controlled. For the ones that are well controlled, of course, your doctor is going to allow you to fast, because for those ones that are well controlled, they usually take drugs like once a day or twice a day. Even some take once in 2 days, that is alternate days. But for the ones that are not well controlled, apart from taking drugs every day, some may even take a particular drug 3 times a day. So those kind of patients will not be allowed to fast because they have to take drug in the afternoon. So you have to consult with your doctor if you're hypertensive. If you're hypertensive, you should go on with the fasting. And it is particularly important for hypertensive in Ramadan and outside of Ramadan to cut down on their salt and spicy food intake. It is very important for them. Then the warning signs of hypertension, that is dizziness and headache, you should watch out for them, and you should continue to monitor your blood pressure regularly. Then fasting in peptic ulcer disease patients. Okay, so this is actually a big umbrella. Peptic ulcer disease, people who have gastritis. How do I say gastritis? Like there is an inflammation in their stomach. So they may not be called peptic ulcer disease patient, but they also have those symptoms of pain in the upper part of their abdomen, and it's usually associated with food. with food intake. We have patients who have heartburn, like when they eat some particular food, they start having reflux and then they start feeling like their chest is burning, that kind of feeling. So some patients have peptic ulcer disease, like spelt out because it was diagnosed. Some are not diagnosed, but they have the symptoms of this disease. So they may have just reflux, but they know when they are experiencing these symptoms. So if you know you fall into this category, you may or may not fast. It depends. If you're having peptic ulcer disease and you know you are bleeding, like bleeding peptic ulcer disease, a peptic ulcer disease that is accompanied by bleeding through the mouth, such that the person vomits blood, or the person stools blood, passes blood in stool, whether fresh blood or black. By black, I mean the stool be black. It is blood. It is blood that is making the stool to be black. If stool should not be black normally. So if your stool is black, you should see your doctor. So there are some tests that can be run on the stool to be sure that it is blood that is making that stool to be black. So if you're having bleeding, whether from the mouth, but it's from a peptic ulcer, please, you are not advised to fast. Some people who have perforated peptic ulcer, like the peptic ulcer there's already a hole in the stomach, should not fast. So they are like extremes of this condition. So those people should not fast. But even for those who do not have the extreme, in order not to graduate to the extreme, there are some things that some tips to help curb or to help manage this. So I'll just talk about some of them. Medications, use of antacids. I think antacid is something that you can easily get in shops, like what they call it, Mismang, Gaviscon. There are different antacids. Acipep, there are a lot. You can easily get them, and even the prescriptions are already written there. You can get those. You can get antacids. It helps you to prevent your ulcer from worsening during fasting. If you know your ulcer is not so bad that you can fast, you can get Acipep, Gaviscon, Mismag. There are many. There are a lot. Then other drugs that can be used, like omeprazole, ranitidine, that one you have to see your doctor to prescribe it. That one is not just an over-the-counter. I know some chemists will still sell, but it is wrong because you may be taking under dosage or overdosage. So for that kind of drug, you have to see a doctor. You should avoid foods that you know triggers your ulcer. Every let me not say every, sorry. Most people with ulcers know what triggered their ulcer. Like they know the food they eat that makes it get worse. For some people, it could be yam. For some others, it could be beans. They're just different things. So you should know what triggers yours and you should avoid it. But on the general note, foods that are spicy trigger ulcer. By spicy, I mean pepper, spices, you know, food that are like very spicy, they can trigger ulcer, they can trigger that pain. Then foods that are rich in caffeine. I already mentioned foods that are rich in caffeine. I mentioned caffeine itself. That is coffee. What am I calling caffeine itself? Coffee, Coke, these glucose boost, energy drinks, chocolates, all these foods that are rich in caffeine. You want to avoid them. Then you want to, like on the general notes, you want to ensure sahur and you want to avoid overeating. In fact, this overeating part is very important for ulcer patients because of that indigestion that can come with overeating. You stop eating 3 to 4 hours before going to bed. So you want to allow a good time frame between when you stop eating and when you are going to bed because of that indigestion. A lot of ulcer patients suffer indigestion a lot and it causes worsening of the symptoms of ulcer. And if at any point you are experiencing those symptoms, that is, you start having that peppery pain in your upper abdomen, you start bleeding through your vomit, like you vomit blood, or you're even vomiting, whether it is clear and it is persistent, you start stooling and you're seeing blood inside, please see a doctor. On a general note, whether you are in Ramadan or not, every patient that has ulcer should take care in the kind of pain relievers they use. You don't just use any pain reliever that you come across. So you want to avoid pain relievers like diclofenac, ibuprofen. We call them NSAIDs. So you don't just use anything. For peptic ulcer patients, we usually prescribe paracetamol only. And if the pain is too bad, maybe they have a leg pain, for example, you don't want to still prescribe that. And we have other drugs to prescribe that will also prevent the worsening of that ulcer. Because if you take ibuprofen or diclofenac, it's going to worsen the pain of peptic ulcer. Now, in kidney disease patients, should they fast or should they not fast? Now, when we say that a kidney is diseased, it means that the kidney is no longer functioning enough to remove the toxic products of metabolism, like to remove the waste products from the body. That's when we say that this kidney is diseased. And during this period, there is going to be an abnormal fluid collection, because removing waste product is also through the process of removing excess fluid. So there's going to be abnormal fluid collection in the person's system. Now, that means there is a problem with regulation of water, just the same way in diabetics. There's a problem with regulation of sugar. For kidney patients, there's a problem with regulation of water. So kidney patients are not allowed to fast. I mean, kidney disease patients, they are not allowed to fast because there's a problem with the regulation of water. So they are more at risk of the complications of dehydration. So it can further worsen their kidney failure. For patients who have had transplants as a treatment option for their kidney disease, they should also not fast because they have drugs that they need to be like super compliant with for their transplant to be able to survive. So those kinds of patients are also not advised to fast. Okay. In conclusion, it is crucial to balance the fulfillment of religious obligations and obligations to your health. Alhamdulillah, Islam does not impose strict laws. Rather, it acknowledges the limitations of each individual by providing alternatives in accordance to their abilities. So please take your alternatives when you should. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Jazakumullahu khairan. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. May Allah increase you in beneficial knowledge. May Allah not diminish your rank. May Allah continue guide every one of us. Thank you so much for the presentation, ma'am. Now, up next. Okay, now. Okay, up next we will be having the kitchen segments with our amazing sister. She's Zainab Latinwo, popularly. No, I think we should take question and answer first, though. Okay, so let's do that. So, does anyone have any question for Dr. Rahmah before we? Please, if you have any question, perhaps maybe there's anything you like to, there's any dots you like to connect or anything, just let us know. Raise your hand or unmute your speaker. There's no question. I will ask questions.
I don't have any question for her, but I would say that thank you so much for the beautiful presentation. Jazakumullah khairan. For one. May Allah accept it from her.
Ameen, Alaja. Ameen. Jazakumullah khairan.
Amen.
Okay, Sister Mubarak Olayinka, you raised your hand.
Yes, I have a question. Assalamu alaikum.
Shoot, fire on. Yes, ma'am.
Jazakumullah khair to Dr. Rahmah for the beautiful presentation. My question is, when you talks about hypoglycemia, it talks about the symptoms one could have that would require that the person breaks her fast when fasting. So lately, I can actually resonate so well with the symptoms you mentioned. I haven't been diagnosed of diabetics. I am not diabetic, but I am a nursing mother to a 1-year-old. And for the past few months, I've actually experienced virtually all the symptoms you mentioned for diabetic patients. My hands shivers, extreme hunger, I feel dizzy. So I want to ask, can I proceed with fast, or do I need to consult a doctor for proper diagnosis? I hope my question is clear, ma'am.
Now, Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Now,
Yes, I
Jazakumullah khair.
understood your question. My advice to you would be that you should visit a hospital to run some investigations. Let's get some investigations done to be sure of your condition, like to be sure that you are not diabetic first before you know the next thing to do, whether you should fast or not. I don't know if you get me. You need to be sure that you're
Yes,
not
I
diabetic. You
do.
need to be sure that what you're experiencing is actually hypoglycemia.
Okay. All right. Jazakumullah khair, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sister Mbaraka. Barakallahu fikum. May Allah ease your affairs and may Allah continue to ease every one of us affairs. Now, does any other person have a question? Any question? Or there is anything you feel she should have talked about, but she missed out? We can learn from you too. 1, 2, 3. Okay, Sister Aisha Olajure. You have the mic, ma.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
You introduced our lecturer as Sister Zainab Latimo, but I think the name brings Rahma. I don't know.
Yes, we are having 2 lecturers for today's session, as we have been doing. The first one is the health talk. Sister Rahma Usidebofo Lawal, and she just finished ours. So we'll be continuing with Sister Zamat very soon.
Okay, ma. Sorry for my funny question. Thank you, ma.
No problem. I
Nah.
understand. Okay, in absence of no question, I think we should fire on to the next segment. Now, okay, Sister Aziza Yusuf, you've always been coming early. I think I need to know you. Now, you have the mic, ma.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Yes, Jazakumullah to the lecturer and the organizers. But my question is, someone that is hypertensive, is it that the person has to do away with salt completely or just to some extent? I don't know if it was mentioned, but I don't think I heard about that. I know I saw avoid salt. Is it completely or to some extent? That's my question. Thank you.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, I talked about that everybody actually should cut down on salt, but it is more, or should I say, it is particularly important for hypertensive patients because hypertension itself affects a lot of organs, and salt further worsens the condition. So we don't tell them to just. It's not possible to completely avoid salt. Like you not take salt at all. The food will not even have taste. What we usually say is, by the time you start tasting salt in your food, that means the salt is too much. By the time you put your food in your mouth and you're able to taste that, oh, there's salt in this food, that means the salt is too much. So cut down salt to the extent that you cannot taste it in your food. Yes, that's what we mean when we say you should cut down on salt as hypertensive patient.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rahma. Sister Zainab Akonbi, you raised your hand. Do you want to greet us or you want to ask a question? For question, press 1. Unmute your mic.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakumullah khairan to the organizers and the speakers. So my question is, if a peptic ulcer patient miss Saul, should the person continue fasting or just stop fasting for that day? Do you hear me?
Hello, Dr. Rahma, you are muted.
I heard the question. I was laughing to myself because I was like, "Why would I answer this question?" Okay, if a peptic ulcer patient is I don't know. I don't know. A person who has children should not miss out. You should not miss out. You cannot have Pepsi because I'm still missing
Why?
for top. It's just like worsening your case. You should not miss
Maybe
out.
the
I don't know
ulcer is
what you
just
have.
mild.
Maybe
It's not.
the scholars that should answer that question. So what do you say?
I said maybe the ulcer
Hello.
is still mild. It's not so. It has not gone to the extreme.
But even when it is mild, ensure to take your sahur because you don't want it to become extreme. So just do everything to avoid it from progressing. So you should take your sahur. But when you miss your sahur, I'm not going to say that you should break your fast to a beg. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what you should do. But my own is that please take your sahur. Set your alarm and take your sahur, please.
Jazakumullah khairan.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. You too, both of you. Now, sister, I think sister Aziza Yusuf is still raising her hand. Sister Aisha is dropping a question. Okay. Sister Aisha, okay, let's start with Sister Aziza first. Sister Aziza,
Okay. I dropped the question in the comment section. I don't know if it was seen. I learned that the average measurement for salt intake for adults is one
yeah,
tablespoon. Is that correct? Like a tablespoon. I want to know if it's true or just. Um,
okay. Sister Dr. Rahma, please help us answer that question. After this question, there is I think we are
Assalamualaikum.
almost running out of now. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it's correct. We usually say that the amount of salt that one should take in a dish should not be more than 1 teaspoon. Not tablespoon, or teaspoon. Tablespoon is the big one. Teaspoon is the smaller one. So teaspoon.
Okay. Now, Sister Aisha Olajire, do you still want to ask any question, ma?
No, ma. Jazakumullah khairan, ma.
Okay. Okay, so I'll be handing over to Sister Mariam Idowu to help us bring out the long profile of our dear sister, our chef, our food blogger, our, I don't even know, the adjectives to qualify her are just too much. She's that amazing. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue blessing her. May Allah not diminish her and every one of us. Sister Mariam Idowu, are you with us, ma'am? Hello?
Naam. Assalamu alaikum. I'm here.
Now, okay, so over to you. You have the floor.
Naam. Assalamu
Bring
alaikum
bring
warahmatullahi
out the red
wabarakatuh.
carpet.
So
Walaikum assalam wa
I have
barakatuh.
the honors to bring in our very own Sister Zainab Latinwo. She's a passionate cook, a foodpreneur, and an enthusiastic food blogger who loves sharing her culinary discoveries and kitchen adventures with her audience. When Sister Zainab is not blogging, she dedicates her time to supporting special needs children as an assistant teacher and sharing knowledge as an Islamic tutor. Sister Zainab is also a proud graduate of the prestigious University of Ilorin. Let me repeat that line. She is a proud graduate of the prestigious University of Ilorin, where she earned her degree
Emma
in
Jagba,
animal
favor.
science. Where she earned her degree in animal science. Whenever Star Zainab, okay, whether she's cooking, teaching, or writing, Star Zainab is committed to spreading inspiration and education in whatever way she can. Now, Chef Zamat, you have the floor, ma. Bismillah.
Hey, Sister Amina want to kill me. She said long profile. Me, I'm here like which long profile? Even long profile. Tiwa.
We know. We self we know.
Jazakumullah khairan for the beautiful introduction. I really do appreciate.
Wow.
So, yeah, so I'd like to share my screen if that's okay.
Yes,
Yeah, you can now.
you can.
Yeah, okay. So can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Now, uh, um, Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear sisters in Islam.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I am deeply honored and privileged to have been invited to speak amongst you today. I would like to use this opportunity to express my sincere appreciation to the organizers of this platform. I'm indeed humbled to be included in this distinguished group. Jazakumullah khairan, may Allah reward you abundantly.
I
Going
mean,
on, and I would also like to use this medium to say Ramadan Mubarak to everybody in advance. Allahumma baligna Ramadan. I pray to Almighty Allah to allow us witness more and more,
Ameen.
and then accept it from our acts of
Ameen.
ibadah. So, my dear
Ameen.
sisters, yeah, the topic before me today, in which I'd like to discuss with you all, is the sacred space, cultivating a serene kitchen atmosphere for Ramadan, with emphasis on hygiene, safe food handling, and then giving some stress-free tips for us to have, especially during this holy month that is coming. And I'll be approaching this topic by dividing it into parts. I'll first get at it by defining. So this is the outline of the presentation. So we're going to start by defining what a sacred place is, why the kitchen is considered to be a sacred place, what is its connection with Ramadan, why do we need to treat our kitchen with respect, what is kitchen hygiene, and why is it important, what is safe food handling, and why it is important as well. Some tips on how to have stress-free time in the kitchen, especially in the month of Ramadan. So before I go on, I'd like to make this presentation conversational as much as possible, as I believe we all have insights to share, and learning from each other makes this experience more engaging and enriching. So I beg, let's keep this dialogue, let's keep it flowing so that we can all benefit from our collective knowledge and experiences. So before I go on, I'd like one or two sisters to, like, when you hear the statement, a sacred place, what comes to your mind? So if one or two sisters can just kindly give us answers to that. When you hear the word sacred place, what comes to your mind? One or two sisters, please.
For me, it's Makkah.
Mashallah. Maka. Barakallah fikum. Any other sister, please?
When you hear what?
The word sacred place. Look at the screen. The first statement here. What is a sacred place? What comes to your mind when you hear that word? The statement, sorry.
A place that is very special.
An holy place.
An holy place, yeah. A place that is very special. Someone said Makkah. Everybody knows that Makkah is like is the most special place for us, for we Muslims. Okay, Jazakumullah khairan for the response. So I'll start by defining what a sacred space is. So a sacred space is often considered as a place imbued or instilled with a sense of admiration, spiritual significance, and tranquility. It is where individuals can deeply connect with themselves, their beliefs, or something greater than themselves. Hence, for we Muslims, a masjid, like someone said earlier, Makkah. This is a place where we connect with with a being that is greater than ourselves, which is Allah. Anyway, so now I would now like to so why would I now refer to the kitchen as a sacred space? You think about it. The kitchen is more than just a room for cooking. It is more than just a room for cooking. Its significance is beyond just a room for food preparation. It recognizes the deeper connections to nourishment, creativity, culture, and community that are fostered within its walls. So that is why I will also refer the kitchen to a sacred space. Not that I am trying to compare the masjid and Makkah al-Mukarramah as in the same, not that I'm putting the kitchen in the same level of sacredness with Makkah and masjid and all of that, but because of the reasons I've just stated, because of the fact that the significance is more than just cooking. We have deeper connections to it. It's a place whereby we nourish ourselves. For some of us that we engage in lots of creativity. So some of these things are are the reasons why I consider a kitchen to be a sacred space. So the first reason why I'm also going to refer to a kitchen to why I'm going to refer to kitchen as a sacred space is that it can serve as an act of worship. It is where we prepare food not only for physical nourishment but also as an act of worship. This is a proud moment for us as Muslims because whatever it is we engage in this world is actually a means to serve Allah. That is, if we have the right intention to it. This is why I love the first hadith of An-Nawawi so much, which said, "Innamal a'malu binniyat." Verily, for every action is an intention. So when you have the right intention, when you are in the kitchen, Allah is definitely going to reward you for that. Especially now that we're going to the month of Ramadan, you're going to be serving yourself, and you'll be serving your families and other members of your family. That act of service alone, when you have the right intention to it, Allah is going to reward you. And then in the month of Ramadan, it will definitely be multiplied. Especially for those of us that do not even like cooking, because we know that cooking takes a whole lot of time, and it could be a lot stressful for some of us. But when you have the right intention and you know that Allah is going to reward me for this, so definitely it could serve as a purpose of act of worship. And again, another reason why I think the kitchen is a sacred space is that it is where families and communities come together to share meals, strengthen bonds, and then foster a sense of unity and belonging. I'm sure you, like me, you recall so many fond memories that you have formed over shared meals and eating together. Because I could remember till today, I still go down memory lane over the beautiful memories, over the beautiful bonds that I formed over meals that we shared together back in the university during my service here in the MCAN Lodge in Oshogbo. I could remember when we all sit down and then we share laughter, we laugh, we talk, we discuss so many beautiful things over meals that we cooked together and then we share together. So it could be referred to as a sacred space because of the bond and unity that you might have formed while cooking and then eating. Cooking meals also in our kitchen, it provides opportunity for reflection and gratitude. So that's the third point, reflection and gratitude. When you're in the kitchen and then you're cooking, you're in the world of your own, and you're just there cooking, you begin to reflect, you begin to thank Allah for giving you the opportunity to be able to put something on fire and then cook for yourself, especially in this time of economic hardship. We know people are out there that do not even have something, even water to boil for themselves to give to feed themselves and their children and the rest of their family. So reflection and gratitude is something that's very important. I know when I'm in the kitchen, I'm just lost in my own thoughts, and then I begin to thank Allah for giving me the opportunity to at least make something and then put something on the table for me and my family. So that's another reason why I think the kitchen can be referred to as a sacred space. The next reason is that observing rituals and traditions. This one, so many times, especially in the month of Ramadan. Like during Ramadan is coming now. You're just there. You start to say, especially for those of us that we married so far away from our homes. There are some rituals and traditions that we do back then in our homes that were passed down from generation to generation, especially during Ramadan. It is where we recreate beloved family recipes, where we prepare special dishes for iftar and suhoor, and observe fasting practices, all of which contribute to fond memories, strengthen familial bonds, And I'm sure most of us can relate to this. So I'd like one or two sisters, if you can share with us some of the rituals and traditions that you can still reminisce over right now, especially if you've married far away from your family. So could we have one or two sisters to share with us some of the rituals that you have shared that you can still remember till today, even especially during the month of Ramadan? One or two sisters can share with us, please. Salam alaikum, can you hear me? Hello?
Hello, we can, ma. Maybe you should retake the question again.
I said,
Perhaps.
okay, I said, if one or two sisters can share with us some of the rituals and traditions that they could still remember today, that they were passed to them maybe from generation to generation, that they do back in their homes in prior days. So if they could like share with us so that we could learn together and then reminisce together.
Okay, if you like to share anything, please mute your mic. Wow, always making part. A sister has shared. Always.
For all the making pap for his son.
Making pap and moi moi. That's a very good. That's very beautiful. Yeah,
For
making
us,
pap and moi moi.
their excitement, how they
Yeah,
make us wait, and the tantalizing menu they would have told us in the afternoon.
yeah, yeah. So now that's part of the reason why I think the kitchen is something that is important in our life. So the next point is um sorry about that. I have this cough. So also the kitchen is also like a place whereby through mindful cooking and intentionality in your actions, the kitchen could become a place of spiritual practice whereby every act of chopping, stirring, and serving is infused with meaning and devotion. Imagine chanting with every act in the kitchen, Subhanallah wa bihamdihi Subhanallah al-Azim. It was narrated by Abu Huraira that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that whoever says this kalima, Subhanallah wa bihamdi, Subhanallah al-Azim, whoever says this kalima like 100 times a day will have his sins forgiven, even if it is as much as the foam of the sea. And there are also lots of other azkars like that are light on the tongue but heavy on the scale. So if you make use of your time in the kitchen properly, you will definitely be rewarded. And then you'll be able to connect with yourselves and then have a beautiful time in the kitchen. So because of these beautiful attributes that I've just mentioned, it is paramount to treat our kitchen, our sacred place, with respect, maintain cleanliness, ensure safe food handling practices, and then embrace stress-free cooking tips to minimize the time spent in the kitchen. This allows us more time for other activities, especially during the month of Ramadan, when we want to engage in other forms of ibadah. By ensuring all of these things, we can elevate our kitchen to a sacred space, a place where we find peace, nourishment, and fulfillment, especially during the month of Ramadan. So let us get into it. Kitchen hygiene. What is kitchen hygiene? When we say kitchen hygiene, what do we mean by that? Keeping kitchen hygiene involves maintaining cleanliness and sanitation in the kitchen environment to ensure the safe preparation and handling of food. And why is it important? Maintaining hygiene in the kitchen, especially during Ramadan, is crucial for several reasons. Number one, health and well-being. With the long hours of fasting during the day, it is essential to consume nutritious and safe food during iftar and suhoor to maintain good health. We're going to be fasting for a long time. For a long time. Imagine eating something that is not nutritious or something that's going to make you fall sick. How else are you going to be able to complete your fast when you keep on vomiting and then stooling throughout the day? So to maintain your health and well-being, you need proper hygiene. It's going to help you prevent foodborne illnesses and ensure that the food consumed during Ramadan does not compromise your health. Number two, spiritual purity. In Islam, Cleanliness is emphasized as part of one's faith. The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said in one of his hadith, he said, "At-tuhuru shatrul iman." Cleanliness is half of faith. And again in another hadith, he said, "Inna Allah tahir la yakbalu illa tahir." Allah is a clean Lord. He doesn't accept anything less than that it is clean. So because of it doesn't accept anything aside that which is clean. So maintaining hygiene in your kitchen, it actually aligns with our faith. It aligns with Islamic teachings, and it helps uphold spiritual purity, ensuring that the food prepared and consumed during Ramadan is paramount and then is spiritually nourishing. Number 3, respect for food blessings. Ramadan is a time of gratitude and reflection, and Muslims we are encouraged to appreciate the blessings of food and water. By maintaining hygiene in the kitchen, we demonstrate respect for these blessings, and then we ensure that our food are not wasted and contaminated, because when food is contaminated, we tend to throw them away. So where then is our respect for the food that Allah has granted to us? People are out there that do not have things to eat. So when you take care of your kitchen, it automatically means you are having respect for the food that Allah has bestowed upon you. Community health. Most of us during Ramadan, we are going to be cooking for a large gathering, and there's often an increase in communal gatherings and sharing of meals. So proper kitchen hygiene, it not only protects individuals, but it also contributes to the health and well-being of the broader community by preventing the spread of foodborne illnesses. Number 5, setting a positive example. Observing hygiene practices in the kitchen sets a positive example for family members and others in the community. It encourages them to prioritize cleanliness and food safety, not only during Ramadan, but throughout the year. So while the importance of kitchen hygiene is emphasized during Ramadan for health, spiritual, and communal reasons, it is essential to recognize that these practices should be upheld beyond the holy month of Ramadan. When we're talking about kitchen hygiene, it's not just for during the month of Ramadan alone. It actually needs to extend beyond Ramadan. These principles should remain a consistent part of our daily lives, reflecting our commitment to health, faith, and community throughout the year is very, very paramount. So how do we take care of our kitchen? The key aspects of kitchen hygiene. Number 1, cleaning of our surfaces, of our worktops. It is very important to keep our kitchen surfaces squeaky clean. It has to be very clean. You have to regularly sanitize your countertops, your sinks, and stovetops in order to ward off harmful bacteria and foodborne illnesses. For cleaning your kitchen worktops or kitchen table, you could make use of homemade solutions like vinegar solution, which is achieved by mixing equal parts of white vinegar and water in a spray bottle. So vinegar solution is an homemade product that you can use in cleaning your surfaces. You can make use of hydrogen peroxide solution, which is by diluting hydrogen peroxide and water in a 1-to-1 ratio and pour in a spray bottle. And you can also use lemon juice. Lemon juice solution is also very good because combining freshly squeezed lemon juice and with water in a spray bottle is known to have natural antibacterial properties and can help disinfect surfaces. Or you could just go to the store and buy disinfectant for your worktop surfaces that is actually safe for use. If you're like me, sometimes I can be lazy. I'm not very good in the DIY things. So I just go to the store and then buy these products to clean my worktops. So it is very important for you to clean your surfaces. If you don't want to use the store-bought products, you can make yourselves by using vinegar solution, hydrogen peroxide solution, or you use lemon and water solution. Vinegar is something that's very good for your houses. It is a very good thing. You can use it for disinfecting. You can use it for cooking. It actually it tastes very nice when you use it for cooking. There's some things that you can use it for. You can use it for unclogging your sink. You can use it for cleaning your gadgets. You can use it for cleaning your fridge. So that's that about that. Number 2, the second aspect of your kitchen hygiene is organizational practices. A tidy kitchen is a happy kitchen. Keep your things organized, please, sisters. Keep your things organized with designated areas. Do not just be what's the word? Do not be disorganized. Inculcate an habit of inculcate the habit or the rule of when you take it, replace it. When you take something, put them back from where you took them from, in order for you not to be disorganized. Because when you do the when you have the habit of not putting things back to where you took them from, it actually is going to be making you waste a lot of time, because the time that you're supposed to be using in doing something that's productive, you're just going to be using it to look for something that you should not be doing in the first place. Allah knows I dislike looking for things so much. If you want to really get on my nerves or something, ask me to start looking for things. I do not like looking for things. I like to put my things where I put them. So put your things where you put them, so that when next you need them, you're able to just pick it from where you took it from. And then it's going to actually make your kitchen look so tidy when you engage in organizational practices. Number 3, pest. In your kitchen, try as much as possible to keep pests away. And how do you keep pests away? It is by you keep pests and insect and rodent away by sealing cracks. If you have cracks in your kitchen, seal them. Store your food in airtight containers, and then please dispose your waste as often as possible, as quickly as possible, to prevent flies and fruit flies from making your house abodes for them to breed in. So try to keep your pests at bay. Keep pests at bay, so that they do not have control over your kitchen. And you do that by putting away things that could attract them. You seal cracks that could make them come into your kitchen. The next one is equipment maintenance. I'm going to ask a question now. When last did you clean your fridge? When last did you clean your microwave? Your kitchen gadgets, they need love. They need love. You need to love them. Regular cleaning and maintenance of stove tops, ovens, refrigerators, and dishwashers are crucial to prevent the growth of harmful bacteria that can keep and this when you clean them often, it actually is going to make them run smoothly for when you need them. So when last did you clean your fridge? This is like a wake-up call for us sisters. When last did you clean your fridge? Today, Ramadan is starting in less than a week. Try to clean that fridge. Try to clean that microwave. Try to clean your gadgets. Clean them. Give them a deep cleaning in preparation for Ramadan. So deep clean them in preparation for Ramadan. So the next one is waste management. Let's talk about waste management. Proper waste management means timely disposal of food scraps, packaging materials, and other waste items to maintain cleanliness and hygiene in your kitchen. Do not let us be like our African moms, whereby we keep on putting nylon, it's a nylon, it's a nylon, it's a nylon, it's a nylon, that continues to breed cockroaches and all of those things that will actually make our kitchen look untidy. Keep the ones that you know you're going to need. So apologies to my non-speaking Yoruba audience, please. So things that you do not need, keep them away. Keep them away. Things that you do not need, the things that are actually like waste, throw them out. Declutter. Declutter actually is good for our mental health, if you don't know. I noticed that whenever I declutter my house, I have like some kind of space in my brain. I love decluttering so much. So declutter. Declutter and then manage your waste nicely. Remember to trash your dirt as often as possible. The next kitchen hygiene tips is your personal hygiene. Personal hygiene it matters a lot. You should remind everyone to wash their hands regularly when they want to work with you in the kitchen. Wear clean attire. Cut your nails. Alhamdulillah, we are Muslim. We do not keep nails. Cut your nails, because things are there. The things that are actually under our fingernails are very, very dirty when you look at them under the microscope and all of that. So cut your nails. Maintain good personal hygiene. If you're going to be cooking for your families, if you're going to be cooking for lots of people, maintain personal hygiene. Proper storage. This is going to be the last point for aspect of kitchen hygiene. Whether it is dry goods, spices, or perishables, storing them correctly is a must. Proper storage keeps our food safe from contamination, and then it prevents spoilage. Store your food nicely. Store your food nicely. Cover the things that you need to cover. put away things that you need to put away. Your spices, keep them in a very nice, in airtight containers that is going to make them look dry and nice. So store your things, store your food nicely. Proper storage of your food and your kitchen stuff is very, very paramount. So this is going to take us to food handling. What do we mean by food hand? I hope you're with me, because I need to check. Are you with me?
Now, we are with you, ma.
Okay.
Yes, we are. We are.
Okay, now. So safe food handling. So this takes us to safe.
Yes, we are. We are.
Okay, now. So this is the last point, the proper story thing. It takes us to safe food handling. What is food handling? Food handling, it refers to the process of safely preparing, cooking, storing, and serving food to prevent contamination and ensure its safety for consumption. It encompasses various practices and techniques that aim to maintain the quality and integrity of food products while minimizing the risk of foodborne illness. I'm going to repeat. Food handling, it refers to the process of safely preparing, cooking, storing, and serving of food to prevent contamination and ensure it is safe for consumption. It encompasses various practices and techniques that aim to maintain the quality and integrity of food products while minimizing the risk of foodborne illness. Food handling involves everything from washing your hands and utensils to properly cooking and storing food items. Effective food handling practices are essential for maintaining food safety standards and protecting the health of those eating it. So, if you have had a case of ibeburu before, ibeburu and vomiting up and down, you will actually really understand why safe food handling is very, very important. It can never be overemphasized, especially if you're going to be cooking. Yeah, we are ladies here, we are women, we are mostly the ones in the kitchen preparing food for our family. It is very important for you to really know how to safely handle your food that people are going to be eating from, your visitors are going to be eating from. It is very important for you to understand this. So if you've had the case of running stomach, that's not going to make you sit down for 2 minutes or something, keep on running to the toilet up and down, and then you're vomiting up and down. You understand why food handling is something that is very important in the kitchen. So some of the safe food handling practices are as follows. Number one, thawing safely. When it comes to we women in the kitchen, we there are a lot of times where most times we are in need of like defrosting things that we need to cook. This thing is very, very important because not all of us know how to thaw our frozen food products properly. When it comes to thawing frozen good, especially your proteins proteins, they are the culprits here, because proteins, they have lots of microbes and bacteria that actually are going on them. So when it comes to you thawing them, you need to do it safely. When you want to thaw your proteins or your frozen food products, you need to thaw them in the refrigerator. Do not bring your frozen products and put them on your countertop at room temperature. That is very, very, very dangerous, because when you put your food products on your countertops at room temperature, it makes microbes that are on it to multiply very rapidly, and it could be very dangerous for your health. So you should defrost your food. You should defrost your food product in the refrigerator. There's no haste in cooking. That's why you need to plan. You need to, okay, you've been thinking, I need to make egusi soup tomorrow, things like that, and you have frozen products in your fridge. You are making it tomorrow. Take it out of your freezer today and put in the refrigerator. Let it thaw in the refrigerator. And if you know you are in a hurry, put it in a bowl of cold water. Never put hot water on your frozen product. That's not a safe way of thawing your food product. It's either you put them in the refrigerator and let them thaw slowly and gradually, or you put them in an ice cold water bath. Do not put hot water or warm water on your food. Do not thaw them that way. Put your food in a refrigerator or cold water bath instead of leaving them out at room temperature. Why? Why are we doing this? Because thawing in the refrigerator maintains a consistent and controlled temperature Keeping the entire food item within a safe temperature range prevents bacterial growth, which helps ensure that the food remains safe to consume once thawed. It also preserves the quality. When you do that, when you thaw your food in the refrigerator and or in ice cold water, it preserves the quality, the texture, and flavor of the food. Rapid thawing at room temperature can lead to loss of moisture and deterioration of texture and taste. You know what we do when we want to, as I said earlier, when we want to like defrost our food products, we just drop them on the countertops, and we make them. So no, it's either you put them in the refrigerator or in an ice cold water bath. So thawing safely it's very important. Thawing your food safely is a very important thing that you need to take care of. Number two, separating raw and cooked foods. You have to keep things separate. Keep your food products separate. It is crucial to keep raw meat like poultry products, seafood products, and meat away from cooked foods to prevent cross contamination, whether you're storing it or maybe it is during preparation. This is why when you see Western chefs or what's it called, these chefs, when they are trying to tell you about rinsing proteins, they tell you not to rinse protein before cooking. I do not know, for some of us that are conversant with social media, you would have seen lots of videos whereby they say do not rinse your proteins, and there's actually a reason for that. They tell you not to rinse your protein because while you're rinsing your protein in your sink, while we are rinsing our food products in the sink, there tend to be like splashes of water all over. You see all of those water that is splashing around is actually distributing microbes all around your worktops, your sinks. Those of us that we have our washed plates on our sink that we are waiting for them to dry. You're washing your protein, and as this water is splashing all about, you are contaminating all of your plates, and then you just overlook it and you be like, nothing happened, Jerry. Do you understand? So the chefs say that do not wash your proteins, because why are we washing proteins anyway? We are trying to wash proteins. Excuse me. We are trying to wash proteins in order to rid the germs that are on it, isn't it? But no, when you rinse proteins, they are not getting rid of any microbes. They're not getting rid of any microbes. So microbes are still there. The only thing that's going to get rid of the microbes or germs that are on your proteins is by cooking. The high heat is the only thing that's going to get rid of the germs that is on your protein. So they tell you while you're preparing your proteins, do not wash. They tell you not to wash. But as per we are Africans, and I cannot come and eat nonsense. So you'll be like, I have to wash, I must wash. Okay, fine. Wash your protein. But while you're washing, you need to be very careful. You need to be vigilant. You need to be very, very vigilant to reduce water splashes as much as possible. And if there is at all, like there are splashes of water all around you, you have to decontaminate. Decontaminate all of the surfaces as quickly as possible, as quickly as you can. Because we are Africans, we think, yeah, we have to wash. I'm not saying that you should not wash. I wash my proteins as well because I'll be like, all of my so like I still have to wash. But you have to be careful. Look at those places that water is splashing on, and then you decontaminate them as quickly as you can, and you reduce water splashes as much as you can. In your fridge as well, our fridge that we have is just not there. There's actually a way how you can store your products in your fridge. The lower compartment in your fridge, if you can visualize your fridge right now, the lower parts whereby you bring out like this, like two drawers that you bring out from the fridge. Those are the parts that is meant for your uncooked products like proteins, especially when you want to, like, I said earlier, when you want to thaw your food, you want to put them in the fridge, you put them in the lower part. Do not put your proteins on the upper part of your fridge and you have like cooked food underneath. You are not sure the water from the chicken or the seafood or anything could be dripping into it, and you do not know, and then you just like put it in the microwave, you warm, and then you start to eat. You actually that's actually very dangerous. So you separate your raw and cooked food in a very nice way. In your fridge, Follow the storage guidelines in your fridge. Arrange food items in the refrigerator according to the guidelines, with raw meat, poultry, and seafood stored on the bottom shelf to prevent cross-contamination. Keep ready-to-eat foods separate from raw items to minimize the risk of contamination. Number 3, cooking thoroughly. Cook it right. Cook your food right. Cook it thoroughly. Cook your food thoroughly, especially when it comes to meat, poultry, and seafood. I cannot stress enough the importance of cooking these items to their recommended temperatures. It is just not about taste. It is about ensuring any harmful bacteria are taken away. Make sure your meal is not only delicious but safe too. This is why me as Africans. I don't know if you're really, really very like you watch social media videos and then from all of these restaurants and all of that things, you see them serving beef. They serve them in 3 forms like that. They say rare, medium rare, whatever. That still look pink. You'd be like, this cow is still moo, it's still saying ba that they have on their table. You do not want to eat it because you're thinking it's not well cooked. Although those people that made it, they would have followed the guidelines, and I'm sure it is safe for them to serve it. So I'm just using that as an instance where you're cooking your food, especially protein. Cook them thoroughly, especially for those of us that grill chicken and beef. We make beef suya, all of those things in our house. Grill them, make them cooked thoroughly. Make sure they are cooked to the required temperature for when food should be properly cooked. Cook your food thoroughly so that you do not eat what is going to make you get sick. May Allah continue to protect us. Number 4, cooling your leftovers promptly. Okay, number 4, reheating safely. Yeah, sorry about that. Reheating safely. When you want to warm your food, make sure you do it right. Reheat those leftovers thoroughly to at least 74 degrees centigrade to ensure any bacteria that might have snuck in during storage are eliminated. It is the final step to ensure your meal is not only tasty but safe to enjoy. So you have to reheat your food safely. We can either reheat our food using a microwave or using our traditional stovetop method. So when you're the idea behind reheating our meal is that you warm them very well so that they're very hot to eliminate any microbes that might have snuck in when you stored them in your microwave. When you're trying to warm your food, if you're warming something that is dry like rice or spaghetti, pasta, all of those things, try and sprinkle water on it before warming. And if you're warming something liquid, let's say you're warming something like maybe okra soup or something like that, once you have put it in the microwave and then it has run for some minutes, take it out, stir so that there's no hot spots in the food. You do not have like a part is hot, the other part is not hot. Stir and then return back into the microwave so that it warms thoroughly. If it is rice or pasta, sprinkle water on it so that the water that you have sprinkled on top would be the one to actually get hot first, and then we transfer the heat to the other part of the food, and then the food is actually it's going to come out moist and very nice. It's not going to come out so dry. So that is how you heat your food. And if it is on the stove top, warm however you want to warm it, and then make sure you warm on low heat first. Warm on low heat so that it builds up the heat, the temperature, and then it warms your food thoroughly so that there are no hot spots, and then there are no parts whereby some parts is not heated thoroughly and then some are heated thoroughly, so that it can actually be safe for you to consume. So the next one is cooling leftovers promptly. So let's talk about leftovers. After you've whipped up a delicious meal, it is essential for you to cool those leftovers down. So storing them in the refrigerator within 2 hours of cooking helps to prevent bacteria from from coming over it, and that could actually cause some kind of foodborne illnesses. So there's something called a 2-hour rule. It's that when you finish cooking and then you have some leftovers, the rule is within 2 hours. After 2 hours, store them in the fridge. Store them in the fridge. Take them away, or take them away from your from the stovetop. Meaning, on your stovetop means that they are actually at room temperature. Take them away and put them in the fridge so that bacteria will not have we don't have the we don't have the opportunity to start to grow on them. There's like 2 weeks or like a month ago, there's something going viral on social media called the fried rice syndrome. What is called the fried rice syndrome? It is a term used to describe a type of food poisoning that can occur after consuming leftover fried rice. It is caused by a bacterium called Bacillus cereus, which produces toxins that can cause illness when ingested. The syndrome typically manifests with symptoms such as abdominal pain, diarrhea, and vomiting, which can develop within a few hours after consuming the fried rice. The illness is usually mild and self-limiting. It usually resolves within a day or two in most cases and can be fatal too. So the risk of fried rice syndrome arises from the fact that the cooked rice that was used in making the fried rice was left at room temperature for an extended period, which provides an ideal environment for the growth of Bacillus cereus bacteria. If the rice is then reheated inadequately or stored improperly, the bacteria can begin to multiply and produces toxins that may cause food poisoning when ingested. So to prevent fried rice syndrome and other foodborne illnesses, it is essential for you to handle and store cooked rice properly, which includes cooling leftover rice quickly and storing in the refrigerator within 2 hours of cooking. So when you're reheating it, you have to make sure it reaches its required temperature, as I said earlier, throughout to kill any bacteria present. Additionally, it is advisable to consume leftover rice within a day or two to avoid leaving at room temperature for extended periods. So as I said that there's a 2-hour rule for you to put your leftovers into the fridge, but we know that there are some situations whereby and not our realities, not our circumstance, not all our circumstances are not the same. We have some people that the power supply is actually not that very stable, so which means the refrigerator is a no-go area. Refrigerating food might not be like a good idea. So the best thing for you to do is that know the amount of mouth you're feeding. Try as much as possible to limit leftovers so that you wouldn't have the reason for you to keep them on your stove top at room temperature. Try, we are women, we know how to plan our food, so we know the amount of mouth you're feeding so that you limit the amount of leftovers you're going to be having in your kitchen every day. So the next point is washing fruits and vegetables well before consuming. Your fruits and vegetables, you have to wash them and rinsing them very well before consuming. Ramadan is coming, we are going to be consuming lots of fruits, lots of vegetables. So you need to wash them. It's an essential part from a food handling perspective to remove dirt, pesticides, bacteria, and other contaminants that may be present on the surface. Failure to wash produce adequately can lead to foodborne illnesses and in rare cases, even serious health complications. In Australia, like last year, a neurosurgeon, a neurosurgeon conducted some kind of surgery on a woman. And what happened to the woman? A live worm was removed from the woman's brain. What happened? The woman just went to complain in the clinic that she was having some kind of episodes of depression and some kind of mental health episodes and stuff like that. So they had to carry out like an MRI or scan on her brain, and then they discovered some kind of white clusters in her brain. So they performed some surgery on her, and then this neurosurgeon took out a live worm from her brain. It was something that went viral, even on the news. Everyone was like, the medical people were like, what happened? What? How come live worm in someone's brain? What happened? Blah blah blah. All those things. You know what happened? The woman, she was living in Australia, so she had like a vegetable farm. So she usually picks vegetables from a farm to cook, to make for herself or something. And you know there are some vegetables that you do not need to cook. So she actually took some off, and then she had it. It was after the surgery. Oh, that was when they knew what happened. Oh. After they conducted what's that thing that they conduct after surgery? That they do, I don't know the word, that they do some, they carried out some studies to know what actually happened. How did it get to the woman's brain? So it happened that the woman plucked some vegetables from a garden, and then she washed. Apparently she did not wash properly, so she had it. So what happened was that in our garden, they said there's some kind of parasite that that is actually found on in a garden that found its way onto those vegetables that she had. So when she had the vegetable, she had it. The parasite, so she ingested it that way, and then um 1 minute, please. So she had the parasite is known as a rat lungworm, so it can be found in the soil and can contaminate produce if not properly washed. So in this case, the woman unknowingly ingested the parasite, which eventually traveled to her brain, causing neurological symptoms. So she underwent surgery performed by a neurosurgeon to remove the worm from her brain, highlighting the severe consequence that can result from inadequate food handling practices. This incident underscores the importance of washing your fruit and vegetables thoroughly before consuming them to reduce the risk of foodborne illness and potential health complications. So it is crucial for you to rinse your produce under clean running water. Scrub gently with a brush or your hands to remove any dirt or debris. Additionally, soaking your fruits and vegetables in a solution of water and vinegar. This is another important function of vinegar. Vinegar is something that is good for you to have in your homes. Okay, so it's wash them in solution of water and vinegar or using commercial produce washes, which can help further eliminate bacteria and pesticides. By taking simple precautions, we can ensure the safety of the food we eat and protect our health. You might then begin to wonder, why did I say earlier that washing of chicken will not eliminate the bacteria that we have in them, but washing of fruits can eliminate bacteria and things that we have in them? This is because their surface area is actually different. The surface area of fruits is smooth, and it makes it easy for water to just take away the bacteria that are on them. And the kind of bacteria that is found on fruits are the bacteria that actually comes from the soil. So it's not the kind of bacteria that are harmful as the bacteria that are found on chicken and then other food products. Other food products as well, their surface area is kind of porous, so you cannot easily take off the germs that we have on them like that, because all of these microbes would have like hidden in the crevices. You know, when you view these things under the microscope, you're gonna see it's just like our skin. Our skin, even though you're looking at your skin like this, and it's like it looks very smooth. That's not how it is when you look at it under the microscope. Under the microscope, it has some crevices, some like tiny bits of holes that water cannot get into for when we're talking about the protein. So I'm just trying to just put that in. So washing and rinsing your fruits and vegetables is very important for you before you consume them. So the next point is using separate utensils. Keep your utensils clean, keep it separate. When serving up your dishes, make sure to use separate utensils and serving dishes for each food item. This helps prevent cross-contamination, especially when you're making large food during Ramadan. It is even recommended that you should have different cutting boards, different knives that are color coded for different kind of food in your kitchen. Like they sell the cutting boards and knives. They are color coded. We have pink, yellow, green, and all of that. So each color is designated for a particular type of food, so that you do not have any case whereby you mix them up while you're making food, and it's going to like prevent cross contamination to the barest minimum. So, but I know it can be difficult because we are going to be having like money factors and all of those, and it could be stressful anyway. So what I'm just going to advise is that instead of you buying the color-coded cotton board utensils and all of that, you can actually try to be rinsing and washing your utensils. Like you have just only one, just wash them when you use it for a particular type of food product before using for another type of food product. So that's actually a very good way to minimize cross contamination. Another one is avoiding bare hand contact. You should try to like minimize the risk of contamination by making sure that you do not handle your food with your bare hands. You can be making use of food gloves. They sell food gloves. You can be making use of that to handle your food products. Proper food covering. Keep your food covered. Keep it covered. When storing your food, make sure to cover it properly to protect it from contamination by dust, insects, and other external sources. It is a small step that goes a long way in ensuring your meals stay fresh and safe to enjoy. So please always remember to keep your food covered. Monitoring your food temperature. Well, If you have the time, you can have like food thermometers in your kitchen to be monitoring your cooked foods, so that you know when your food has cooked up to the required food temperature, which is 75 degrees centigrade or sort. So but else, if you cannot do that, we are just going to be winging it by using the traditional method of ensuring that meals are properly cooked. Now, hand hygiene. Clean hands, there's a word, clean hands, happy tummies. Remind everyone in your kitchen, yourself as well, to thoroughly wash your hands with soap and water. Wash your hands properly. After using the restroom, wash. After touching a particular type of food, wash. You wash your hands like your life depends on it, actually. Wash your hands. When you touch a potentially contaminated surface, wash your hands. It is a simple yet powerful way to keep our meals safe and our loved ones healthy. Remember, during the time of COVID-19, they kept telling us to wash our hands. Alhamdulillah, we are Muslims anyway. We perform wudu like 5 times a day, so we're covered. We are fully covered in that aspect. But when you're in the kitchen, you have to be washing the hand. When you're making food, when you touch a particular food, wash it. You keep on washing your hands. So this is going to bring us to it's going to bring us to show us how, like, it's going to, what I'm going to be talking about next is the way we should wash our hands properly. It's a here is a step-by-step guide to washing your hands properly. When we are saying wash your hands, it's not just the woo woo to the answer wash your hands I'm talking about too. Like the real washing your hands. Number one, wet your hands. You turn on the faucet, the tap, wet your hands with water. Apply soap. Dispense an adequate amount of soap onto your hands. Use enough soap to create a good lather that covers all surfaces of your hand, including the backs of your hand, between your fingernails and under your nails. There's this word they say in fiqh, when you're doing your wudu, they say you do hilal of your hand. So you make sure you get in there between the corners of your hand, the crevices of your hand, you wash. Rub your hands together. You rub it together, making sure you wash vigorously for at least 20 seconds. Wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. Scrub all surfaces of your hand thoroughly, including your palms. Pay special attention to areas that are often overlooked, such as the tips of your fingers and thumbs, such as your fingernails and thumbs. Then afterwards, you rinse. Hold your hands under clean running water to rinse away the soap and loosened dirt and germs. Make sure to rinse all soap residue from your hands. Then dry your hands. After you dry your hands using a clean towel. Please do not use the air dryer. Let me just quickly put this in. For those of us that we go to the toilet and then you find this public air dryer that they use in washing. No, please do not use those air dryers. Those air dryers, I'm just putting it in here anyway. Those air dryers are found to be contaminated. They have the highest amount of microbes that you can ever know. It's better for you to just take towels, like toilet towels, to clean your hands than using all of those air dryers. Please don't use those hair dryers. So, but while in your kitchen, just use your kitchen napkin to dry your hands. Dry your hands, and then you turn off the tap with that paper towel, because you know when you open the tap in the beginning, you used your contaminated hand to open it. So you use the towel that you've used to clean your hands to turn off the tap. Am I with you? Are you with me?
Yes, I am.
I hope I'm not too fast, because I tend to rush my speech, especially when I'm nervous. Are we okay?
No,
No, you
yeah.
are not.
Yes,
Yeah,
we are
okay.
Okay. Okay, so by following this hand washing technique, you can effectively remove germs from your hands and help prevent the spread of illness, ensuring a hygienic food preparation environment during Ramadan and beyond. So now, having ensured that our kitchen is spotless and our food is being handled with care, it is now time to explore ways to streamline our kitchen routines. Nobody here, no one can tell me here that they do not want a stress-free, soft Yawoga life. So we all want to strive and manage our time wisely, especially during the month of Ramadan, allowing for more time to pursue meaningful things like our ibadat. So now we're going to delve into some practical tips to minimize our time in the kitchen while maximizing our productivity and enjoyment. Number one, so now we're going into stress-free kitchen tips. We're going to finish soon anyway, so please stay with me. So stress-free kitchen tips, you have to plan your menu. They say when you fail to plan, you prepare. When you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Fail, that's the word, yeah? So, and also there's a popular saying that says success in the kitchen begins with a well-prepared plan. Please, you have to plan. You have to really, really plan. The key to successful meal prep is planning. Start by creating a weekly menu that includes breakfast, lunches, dinners, and snacks. If you're into snacks, yeah. Consider your schedule, your dietary preferences, affordability, and any special occasions or events. Planning allows you to make efficient use of your ingredients and avoid last minute trips to the grocery store or the market. So try to plan your menu. By this time, in 2 or 3 days, we're going to begin to see a lot of Ramadan food timetable that will be flying all around social media. That's actually mess, I don't know. So it's going to begin to fly around, lots of it. Take one of them, adapt to your own needs, adapt to your needs, and plan the menu that you will be using. You need to plan so that you have like a guided list of what you will be buying in the market. And that takes us to the second point, making a shopping list. Once you have your menu planned, create a detailed shopping list with all of your ingredients that you need for the week. Organize your list by category, like your produce, your proteins, to like make your shopping trip easy and make you not forget things that are actually essential. Number three, prep your ingredients in advance. Prep your ingredients in advance. Allah knows cooking. Cooking ganga is not the issue. I'm telling you, like cooking ganga is not the issue. Prepping is the wahala. Oh God. Prepping is the wahala before you cut vegetable, before you scrape carrot, before you do this, before you peel garlic, before you mince ginger. Like prepping is the issue. Ganga ganga. But when you prep, most of the one of the most time-consuming aspect of cooking is chopping vegetables and preparing ingredients. So you can save time during the week by prepping your ingredient in advance. Spend a few hours. You call the kids, call everybody that you can call for all of them to sit down so that you can prep your ingredients. You can, if you're the type that scrape your ginger before you use, scrape a lot of gingers. Scrape a lot of gingers, put them in a bag or in a Ziploc bag. I don't scrape my ginger because I studied agriculture, so peels of all of these things are actually good for you because it increases your fiber intake. So if you have that scrape lots of it, store in a thing. Or you could actually do this. You can scrape your garlic, peel your ginger, and then blend all of them, process all of them together, put in a plastic, and then put in your fridge. That's like a garlic and ginger paste that you can be putting in your food. That's going to take a whole lot of stress away from you. Your vegetables, you can ask them to chop for you from the market. Rinse your vegetables very well, chop them, store them in Ziploc bags and put in your freezer. What else? You want to be making a moi and all of that. Make use of peeled what's it called, peeled beans, so that the stress of you peeling beans is going to be taken away. If you are the one that likes powdered beans, you can be using powdered beans. Anything that's going to make your life easy. No, and if it's going to make your life easy, make use of powdered beans thing. What else? The things that's going to make, if you're the one that is into potato thing, buy the ones that have been like diced for you. Nowadays we have lots of them online that you can just buy, like potatoes that has been diced for you that you can just take and then drop in the fridge or thing. What's called yam that's been made for you, being peeled. Take those ones. Take anything that's going to make life easy for you. Make use of already prepped materials that's going to make life easy for you. Batch cook staples. Batch cook what's it called? Like what's this word called? Maybe rice or something, and then freeze. Make moi moi. Make beans derived products. Make them store in your freezer. All of those things that's going to make it easy for you. Prep them in advance. Prep them in advance. That's going to go a long way for you. during the month of Ramadan and even beyond. So, as I said earlier, batch cook your staples. Simplify your weeknight meals by batch cooking your staple ingredients that can be used in multiple dishes. Cook a big batch of grains like rice, put them in the freezer. Make what's it called? Sauce base. Like you can fry like a large amount of sauce, put in your freezer. When you need to fry egg, take some out. You put them in little boxes so that you're so that we just talked about food handling. You're not going to be bringing the whole batch, make it thaw and then returning back. No, that's not nice. You store them in little containers that you can finish at a time, bring them out of your freezer and put them in your fridge to thaw out, and then you can be making use of. So batch cook things. Make you can batch cook your proteins, your chicken, season them very nicely, your beef, season them very nicely, grill them, put them in freezer. When you need them take out, you use them for your wraps, your sandwiches, you use them for all of these things, all of those things that you cook in your house. So next one is embracing one pot and sheet pan meals. Yeah, embracing one pot. This is like when you want to cook maybe jollof rice and meat. You pan sear some chicken, take those chicken out, put your sauce and everything, your rice, put them in that same pot. That's going to reduce the amount of pots and pans that you'll be using, that you'll be washing at the end of the day. So embracing one pot and sheet pan meals is going to take a whole lot of time wasting thing away from you. So investing in time saving kitchen tools. Investing in time saving kitchen tools. Make meal prep easier and more efficient by investing in time saving kitchen tools and gadgets. A good sharp knife, vegetable peelers, air fryers, instant pot, food processor, blenders, electric pot, electric kettle, slow cooker, all of these things. Invest in them. You can find sisters that I know sisters that are selling all of these gadgets. And sister, what's her name? What's her name? Sister Abisola, she sells all of these things. Yeah, Zulaikha Abisola, yeah, that's her name. So she sells all of these things. You can ask her on how you can be like, how much do you sell these things, so that you can know how much you'll be saving little by little until the money is complete, and then you can start to get all of these gadgets. This instant pot is very good for you. I just talked about a one pot pan meal. Instant pot, you can use to cook anything. In it, you cook jollof rice, cook porridge, cook pepper soup, cook everything. It's a time. It actually has the amount of time that you need to cook, although you use electricity. For example, now you want to cook a bowl. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things that I use it in cooking. Ego can take a long time for it to cook on the normal stove. Here, you can use like an hour or an hour and a half to cook ego, and it's going to be very, very soft. 45 minutes is okay for you to cook beans in an instant pot. Jollof rice, it takes you by 15-20 minutes, it's ready. It's going to come out very succulent and very nice. Pepper soup, maybe that one 10 minutes. Like instant pot halves your cooking time. It doesn't take like a long amount of time. Moi that normally when you want to cook moi on your stove top, it actually takes like 45 minutes before your moi gets done. In an instant pot, it's going to take you like 20 minutes. So instant pot is very, very good. It halves your cooking time. And the meals that usually comes out of it, they are very nice and flavorful, because it uses pressure to cook. So that pressure, it makes the flavor go into the food very well, and they come out very tasty and nice. So instant pot is something that you should invest in if you have the money, and you can be saving for little by little and then get one. Air fryer, we know everybody has caught the bug of air fryer. Air fryer is a very good thing, especially for those of us that are into healthy eating. You do not fry. You don't fry anything. You are cooking. Look at this. You are cooking jollof rice in an instant pot. You have already marinated chicken and all of that, and then you put in your air fryer. Within an hour, 30 minutes, all of your meal is done. If all is sorted. Food processor, very good. You use it for your slicing of vegetables, shredding of carrots, all of those beautiful things that you can use food processor for. You want to make iyan, food processor is there for you. You use your food processor for very fluffy iyan, pounded yam. Nobody has the time for mortar and pestle anymore. You use your food processor for iyan. You want to make meat pies, you want to make pizza, you want to make all of those things. You use this thing for the dough. Don't go and be kneading like you want to be kneading. No, who does that? Use your food processor for kneading of the dough. Your electric kettle, you want to boil rice, use electric kettle to boil water. That's going to have your cooking time. That's that about that. And standing mixer, your standing mixer can as well be used to make pounded yam too. Yeah, and it has lots of its benefits. You can look it up online. It has very good benefits. And then this mandolin slicer can also be used to cut your cucumbers, cut your carrots, cut your vegetables. Maybe you want to make stir fries, you want to make fried rice and all of that. So gadgets, please, if you have, it's going to make things easy for you very, very well. Especially for those of us that we live maybe in the Western areas, whereby you cannot even, we cannot get people to help us, like to come and help us in the kitchen. These things are our friends. Invest in this gadget. It's going to make life easy for you so much. So the next one is portioning and packaging your meals. Once your meals are prepared, portion them out onto individual containers, like I said earlier, containers that are like you use at a go, not that you defrost and then you take back. And then the next one I'll talk about is to delegate tasks. Please, nobody's going to take the chairwoman of I can work, I can really, really work. Oh. Delegate. How outsource. If you can outsource. Share the workload by delegating tasks to family members or people that are living with you. Assign specific responsibilities such as chopping vegetables, setting the table, or washing dishes, allowing everyone to contribute to meal preparation and fostering a sense of teamwork in the kitchen. Please delegate, outsource. I saw somewhere that they said in Ramadan, if you know you have the money to outsource and get trays of food, please do that and use your time for ibadat. That's good. Not that when you cook in the kitchen, you're not going to get reward. Though. Please remember, you will be rewarded because you are feeding yourself. You're feeding your family. You're feeding people. You're going to be rewarded. But you know, it's going to take a whole lot of it's going to take a toll on you because you've been in the kitchen cooking and doing all of that. But if you can outsource and delegate to people to help you. So delegate and then opting for simpler recipes. Yeah, please don't go and be following all of those Instagram butcher mix food blogger that they are mixing. Please opt for simpler recipes. You want your families to like take like eat good food. Yeah, there are simple recipes that you can follow online. Don't be making so opt for simpler recipes. Don't be going for those bigger ones. So you opt for simpler recipes that's going to make life easy for you. You look for dishes with short cooking times that can be made in one pot, and that will be to reduce the complexity and your stress in the kitchen. And the last one, please embrace imperfection. Nobody's perfect. Remember that perfection is not the goal in the kitchen. Embrace your imperfection and be open to your experimentation and creativity in your cooking, but not at the expense of you wasting food. Not even during this time that things are very hard. When you want to experiment with things that you know at the end of the day is going to turn out nice. Okay. Do not stress yourself over minor mistakes that you've done, that you've committed in the kitchen. Sometimes the best meals are the result of spontaneous improvisation. Some of the recipes that we have nowadays are things that are actually as a result of the mistakes that some chefs somewhere have committed. So do not be hard on yourself. The kitchen is a place whereby you can perform wonders in it, in as much as you're not wasting food. Please know that. And then whatever the result will be is edible. So by incorporating these time-saving meal prep strategies into your cooking routine, you can reclaim your time, reduce stress, and enjoy delicious homemade meals without spending hours in the kitchen. With a little planning and preparation, you'll be well. You will be well on your way to effortless cooking and healthier eating habits. Alhamdulillah. We've reached the conclusion of our discussion today. We delved into essential guidelines to maintain a hygienic kitchen, covering everything from thorough decontamination to safe food handling practices. Additionally, we explored stress-free tips for the kitchen aimed at minimizing the time spent on meal preparation. I will like to express my heartfelt appreciation to each one of you for staying with me until the end of this lecture. Your presence and engagement have truly made this journey meaningful. And I hope that our discussion today has offered valuable insight and reflection for each of us. May Allah make this gathering a source of beneficial reminder for us all, guiding us towards greater understanding and adherence to his teachings. Let us pray that our efforts today serve as a means of reward and not as evidence against us on the day of judgment. Thank you all. May Allah bless you all. But before we conclude, it is important to acknowledge that while we've discussed ideal practices for kitchen hygiene and food handling, we understand that everyone's circumstances may vary. It is okay if you cannot implement every suggestion perfectly in our own life. The key is to take what resonates with you and then strive for improvement. It is beautiful because I before I came on to this program, we just had a class with Sister Kifaya Fashola, her class, whereby it was discussed. What was discussed? Journey to Ihsan. You should always just strive to to be perfect in the things that you do. As Muslims, even Allah said in the Quran, La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha. He has not burdened upon every soul more than what you can take. So you just try as much as possible. You keep on striving to perfection. You keep on trying and striving towards a fan. Not that, do not stress yourself. Do not overburden yourself with what I've just talked today. Take what you can and then strive to become perfect in it. Remember that the ideal standards that we've discussed are valuable aspirations, but they shouldn't add unnecessary stress to our lives. Let's aim for progress, not perfection. Let's aim for progress and strive for perfection as we navigate our kitchen practices during Ramadan and beyond. Even in the day, it is very important to know that we just keep on striving to be better. So far, you are not stagnant. Just keep on striving to all be better, and we all be fine, inshallah. I'll leave us with this quote before I leave. In the rhythm of our daily cooking, let us dance with hygiene, sway with safe food handling, and glide with stress-free tips, transforming our kitchen into a serene sanctuary where every meal becomes a sacred act of nourishment for the body and soul. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam rahmatullahi wa
Wassalam.
barakatuh. Jazakumullah khairan. Zamat.
Thank you so much, Jazakumullah. Allah bless you. More
Jazakumullah khairan.
official knowledge be Allah. Now, does anybody have any question to ask your sister? As I kept saying, dearest sister, can you now see that I'm not even using the correct adjective? Okay, does anybody have any question? Okay, Sister Ikma. Oh, for the Sister Ikma raised her hand. Do you have any question?
Yes, ma. I have a question. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Now, Jazakumullah khairan. Thanks a lot, ma, for the eye opener. It is really appreciated. May Allah make it weigh heavily on your scale of good deeds. Jazakallah khairan. Please, ma, my question is that, because the way I'm looking at it now, I'm even confused. What's this thing called? Refrigerating and freezing of foods. Though there are ways to make a lot of things convenient for us, but it seems that they have several downsides associated with them. So I want to ask that if you are to recommend, strongly recommend, is it better to prepare our food and keep not to place in the freezer or fridge at all, to just cook and put it down and be warming it every time instead of keeping it inside the freezer? And another question I have to ask is about freezing also. If we are to, because I've heard a lot of disadvantages associated with freezing, like you had mentioned. That how do I even put it? If we are cooking in bulk now, we are bulk cooking, and we cannot finish everything each time we bring it out to use. I'm sorry, I'm kind of distracted now. If we cannot bring everything when we bring it out of the freezer, the one we bring out, we cannot warm everything at once and finish it. How do we manage that situation? In a case whereby I don't have small compartments to keep those things, how can one manage it? Do one just cook and be warming? Or what can you advise, ma, in that situation? Jazakumullah khairan.
Well, Anton, I'll start with the second one, the second question. That was why I said that when you have things in your freezer, you put them in like small containers so that the one you bring out, you use it you finish it at the go. You don't use and then return back into the freezer. Like now, if you're going to be putting in a Ziploc bag, or like there are some bags that we use here, it's just going to be like portion them into like an amount that you can finish at a go, so that you will not be returning them back into the freezer. Did I answer the second question?
No, ma. Because if when you said we can use something like Ziploc bag. Now, okay, let me ask that. Are you talking about solid foods or proteins now, even soups as well?
I'm talking about everything. If it is soup, portion them into containers that you will be able to finish at a go. There are these containers, these party containers that are like small like this, that they use in serving us jollof rice. Portion them into this. If it
Yeah.
is a soup, portion them in this container, put them in the freezer. When you bring it out, you are able to finish at a go. Do not return them back. It is rice, portion them in small Ziploc bag that you can finish at a go. Don't bring them out, let it thaw, and then return it back. Do you get what I mean? Like you
Yes.
have to store in containers that are like you will be able to finish at the go. Not that you'll be bringing them and then returning them back. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you have to like put them in containers that you'll be able to finish at the go. Do not put in a container that you will not finish and then you return it. That's not actually nice, because when it thaws like that, the microbes in it would have multiplied. When you return them back into the freezer, it's going to be there with the microbes, and then the routine just continues that way. You have to like put them in containers that you will be able to finish at a time, so that when you warm, you finish it that way.
Okay,
Do you get
ma'am.
what I mean? But the first question,
Yes.
I didn't understand the first question. Can you repeat?
The first question is just tied to the second one. I was saying that, is it better, instead of refrigerating and freezing our foods, is it better to like our mothers usually do when they don't have freezer and this thing,
Yeah,
and they will cook and they
yeah,
will warm
yeah. That's
following
why
it
I
because
said that.
they warm. Is it better?
Yeah, yeah. If you remember now, I said at the end that our situations are different. We have situations whereby we are not able to use our refrigerator often because of electricity and all of that. Just continue to use what you have at the moment, and then you strive to be better. What we knew with our mom, yeah, with our mothers, was that we have our food on the stove and then we warm when we need to eat it. That might not be the ideal way, but if you do not have the opportunity to keep on put in the fridge due to maybe electricity fluctuation and all of that, we do not have any choice. There's nothing you can do about it. Just continue to warm. I cannot say that it is better than that, because the ideal situation is that when you have anything on your stove top, within 2 hours you put them in the fridge. But if you cannot do that because of things that are beyond your power, then there's nothing you can do. You just have to continue with the normal way that you've been doing things. But because that is how you are doing it now, does not mean that is the ideal way. But we have to talk a bit about the ideal way anyway. I hope you understand.
I understand, ma. So, my last question, ma. Is it better to between refrigerating and freezing? Which one is better? Because I tried refrigeration, but it looks like the food I kept in the, what's it called? I did not allow the food to freeze in the freezer. I only allowed it to be cool for some time and I turned it off. So I realized that at a point,
You turned off the refrigerator.
the freezer, I did not want it to freeze.
Oh,
I was trying to avoid freezing. So I turned off the
oh,
freezer. But the environment
oh,
was still very cold.
yeah.
So some days later, I started noticing some mold on my food. So I was like, is it
Oh,
that refrigerating has a period of time that it can be
oh,
sustained,
yeah.
or
Refrigerating. Because I said that. Because it is said that you should put your food in the refrigerator, doesn't mean food doesn't get spoiled in the refrigerator. It's just going to take a long time. Like normally when you put your food on your stovetop and it takes two days for it to get spoiled. If it is in the refrigerator, it might take 6 days. It's just going to slow down the process. So food gets spoiled in the refrigerator as well. So even though you're putting your food in the refrigerator, you should make use of them as quickly as you can. Do you get what I mean? But anyways,
Yes.
even when we beside in between refrigerating and freezing is the best way to keep the quality of your food. But it actually even depends on the type of food too. When we are talking about refrigerating and then freezing. For example, now if I make moi moi, I prefer to put my moi moi in the fridge and then we finish it as quickly as I can because I do not like the outcome of moi moi that are frozen. When I bring out the moi moi that are frozen and I'm trying to warm it, the outcome is not really very nice at all. So I put in the fridge in 4 or 5 days, I finish it. You know what I mean? But
Yes,
if you
ma'am.
want to really keep the moi moi for a long period of time, freezing is the best. If you want to keep food for a long period of time, freezing is the best. Do you get what I mean now?
Yes, ma'am. I understand. Thank you, my Jazakumullah khair.
Salam alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Okay. Jazakumullah khairan, ma. Sister Latifa, do you have any question? You are raising your hand. And your question will be the last because it's almost time for Maghrib here. Sister Latifa, okay, she has put down her hands. Okay, does any other person have any question before we call it a day? It's almost time for Maghrib, so we can just quickly
Oh, the questions can just be put on the group and I'm going to put the answers there.
all right, okay. You can drop your questions on the community, on the group, the Sparkle Connect group. Now, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the wisdom. May Allah continue to bless our speaker. May Allah continue to elevate our rank. May Allah not diminish every one of us. Thank you for being a part of this program. Thank you for joining our series. We are happy to have you. May Allah bless you. Thank you so much. Now, so everyone can take their leave. Thank you. Thank you. Jazakumullahu khairan. Bye-bye.
Mumba. Assalamu alaikum. Bye.
Bye.
Miriam, good job.